They say the market is like a relationship, lots of ups and downs, and you're always the last to know when it's crashing. I'm Spencer, Yule Spencer, with a comics view of Wall Street. Something just happened that I need to spit game to you about right now. Not next week, right now. As of July 4th, 2026, Independence Day, by the way, which I find funny, the federal government launched something called Trump accounts. And if you have a child, a grandchild, a niece, a nephew, or if you're thinking about having kids, you need to understand what this is. To see the forest through the trees, you're gonna have to put your emotions in check. Money is not emotional. We are. Because here's what's going to happen. Most people are going to hear about this, get twisted by the name, assume it's political, tune out, and miss something that could literally change the financial trajectory of a child's entire life. How crazy is that? I'm Yule Spencer, a.k.a. Spencer. This is exactly why financial education and literacy matters. Not just in theory, but right now, this week, when something real is happening and most people don't have the tools to understand what they're looking at. Most Americans are financially illiterate. If you don't have a seat at the table, you're going to be on the menu. I will scare you wealthy if I have to. Let's get into it. Let me cut through all the noise and give it to you straight. A T account, also called a 530A account, is a new type of tax-deferred investment account created specifically for children. It's why I cannot not tell you about it. Game recognized game. If I can dream my own big, beautiful dream, it would be that every child in the world would be a shareholder in their country. They would all grow up financially independent. It officially went live on July 4th of this year. Yep, Independence Day. Here's the headline. The U.S. Treasury seeds the account. They put money in first with $1,000 for every child born between 2025 and 2028. What? That's free money from the federal government sitting in an investment account growing from birth. Compounding. Now, before you get too excited and start popping out babies, let's peep game for real. The government never gives anything without a way to get it back. The money is free-ish, but that's where financial education becomes necessary. The accounts grow tax deferred, meaning no taxes are owed while the money stays in the account, but they are not tax-free. When the money comes out, it gets taxed as regular income. Think of it like a traditional IRA for a child, not a Roth. The funds are invested in U.S. stock funds, and Bank of New York Mellon will officially manage the initial accounts. You can't pick individual stocks. You can't put the money in crypto. You can thank whatever you believe in for that. It goes into a broad U.S. equity fund, and it sits there and grows. Compounding. As a parent, you must understand the math and the delayed gratification involved here. That's the basic structure. Now let's talk about why this matters beyond just the free $1,000. I talked in an earlier episode about how compound returns work differently when you start with a large base. But what about when you start early? The numbers get exceptionally good when you start early, so good you can smell the money. This is where it gets interesting. The government's own projections suggest that with modest additional contributions, these accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by age 18, starting from that initial $1,000 seed. And guess who you'd be contributing to? That's right, you and your child's future. If you set your child up early, you won't have to worry about your child needing your money later. Let that sink in. A child born today with a $1,000 government deposit and some regular contributions from family over 18 years could arrive at adulthood with a six-figure investment account already working for them. And here's the time hack you can use. Use the child's birthdays to celebrate not only his or her growth, but as a gauge of their financial growth. The kids are living at home much longer than 18 years old anyway. Why not make sure they'll have plenty of money when they can afford to leave? They might get out early when they understand the value of the account you got for them at birth and how compound returns will continue to work in their lives in perpetuity because they've learned about it since they were children. You taught it to them, finances. And believe me, if the parents or the kids don't choose to learn all they can about financial economics and literacy, you might as well stay away from the whole idea, because you'll be giving the money right back to the system that gave it to you. Most people I grew up around didn't have that kind of money at 40, let alone 18. And here's the compound returns piece that most of the news coverage is completely missing. T accounts create what tax attorneys are calling a legal backdoor into a Roth IRA that does not require a child to have earned income, something that was simply not possible before. At 18, the account transitions into a traditional IRA, and there are strategies to convert it to a Roth at that point, potentially setting up a child for tax-free growth for the rest of their life at perpetuity. Boom. That's not nothing. That's generational wealth infrastructure available to everyday families for the first time. It will be a matter of stick-to-itness and a healthy lifestyle. Here's the part that I need you to hear, because this is the whole reason Wall Street Smarts exists. Only 23% of parents are currently enrolled in a 529 college savings plan, and those have been around for decades. If less than a quarter of parents are using an existing tool that most financial advisors recommend, how many people do you think are going to navigate a brand new account type with complicated IRS rules, enrollment forms, and contribution limits? It's crazy that the dude who's putting this in play finally in this country has a popularity rating lower than Shaq O'Neal's voice. Most won't, not because they don't care about their kids, because nobody taught them the game. This is the financial literacy gap in real time. It's bigly. Right now, today, there are families with eligible children who will never know this account exists or that they could truly benefit from it. Or they'll hear about it, not understand it, assume it's not for them, and keep doing what they've always done, which is nothing, because nothing is what they were taught. The Wall Street Smart series exists because of exactly this kind of moment. I've been sharing this idea with many people for years. I had no idea that Homie would be the one to put it in motion. My whole mission, why aren't we all shareholders by now, is about this gap. The information exists, the tools exist, the access exists. What's missing is someone breaking it down in a way that real people can actually use and benefit from to increase their standard of living. That's what we're doing right here, right now on this channel. I want to zoom out for a second because this episode isn't really just about tax-deferred T accounts. It's about what happens when the government creates a new financial vehicle and the people who need it most, everyday working families, people without financial advisors, people who grew up like I grew up, don't find out about it until years later, if ever. The Wall Street Smart series is built on one belief. Every citizen should be a shareholder. Every citizen is legally allowed to participate in this market. Nobody has to be excluded. But participation requires knowledge, and knowledge requires someone willing to break it down without jargon, without condescension, without making you feel like this stuff is too complicated for everyday people. It's not. I promise you it's not. I learned it. You can learn it. Your kids can start with more than we ever had if they get this right. T accounts launching on July 4th is a real thing happening right now. The question is whether the people who need to know about it are going to find out in time to do something about it. That's why we're here. That's why this channel exists. That's why I'm still on this journey and bringing you with me. So here's your homework this week. If you have an eligible child in your life, you should learn as much of the game as you can before going to trumpaccounts.gov or downloading the app to find out what they qualify for. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for someone to hand you a pamphlet. Peep game. And if you're not sure where to start with your own investing journey, start here. Watch the earlier episodes in this playlist. Read the Wall Street Smart series of books. Get the journal and start tracking your objectives. This stuff is learnable, all of it. Be willing to learn to stay paid. It will boil down to trust. Less than 8 million people have even downloaded the app, and less than 7 million are supposedly active users. I believe the reason the numbers are so low and not at 60 million is because of trust, not the math. There are many ways in the markets to lock down a financial future for the kids. But without financial education and literacy learned by the parents and the kids, the whole idea backfires. Quick reminder, this is for education and entertainment. There's high risk in trading, and I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Always do your own research before you put your money anywhere. If this helped you today, hit like. It tells YouTube to put this in front of more families who need to hear it right now. Subscribe right here on the channel. We do this every week. I'm Yul Spencer, a.k.a. Spencer. Go get your 1,000. I'll see you in the next one.